Hi Bob, thanks for joining me today. Can you just, before we start talking about National Career Week and what that entails, can you just give us a bit of an introduction to you, please?
No problem. I'm Bob Gaskell, Contracts Director at Phosco, Larkin. I've been in post now for 24 years. Take a lot of pride in what we do as a business. Specialist high-mast lighting contractors and maintainers. So we install, maintain high-mast lighting and many other things.
So obviously with it being National Career Week, I think we should, start off with a big question. Why is it so important to help young people be aware of a future career and to build that excitement? Why is it so important to kick that off so early?
I think it's very important in this day and age because obviously over the last few years we've young people suffered, in particular with regard to the pandemic. We're isolated, sometimes affected their education, and the confidence to look at opportunities possibly after school and college, and what qualifications were possibly needed. And these qualifications aren't always academic qualifications. They're qualifications with regard to life skills,
social skills, like you said, being isolated.
Yeah, communication's so important. Being able to deal with different age groups. Yeah. Like myself, being a dinosaur. And then obviously being able to move from one level, working with operatives out in the field, working with supervisors, working with contract managers, working with licensing myself. Yeah. And for having the confidence and developing the confidence to be an understanding, it's not just about having maths, science, English. It's about a rounded person that employers are looking for. Somebody who wants to work. And previously you interviewed Oliver, who's now a second year apprenticeship. And Oliver was very keen to stress the fact that he enjoyed working in a team.
And outside.
And there is opportunities not to be solely inside and in an office. There's lots of opportunities to use your hands, use your intelligence. And it's not all about just using tools, although that is a fundamental part of work out on the highways. There are a lot of technologies involved as well, and the requirement to use PDAs, special electronic equipment, understand testing results, being able to write down and record results. So there's lots of things that young people don't consider opportunities when they're at school, just hard learning. There is opportunities in the workplace, and obviously through my role as an enterprise advisor with local schools, I started doing that two years ago, working with local schools, careers fairs, setting up an employers forum in the school where employers could just give maybe 5-10 minutes a month through Teams meetings to generate interest in younger people in what they do. Being in the working group for the Trailblazer apprenticeships for the 8th year, it's become more apparent that we as employers need to break those barriers down of costing and of what I'm sick of hearing people saying the youth of today don't want to work. That's a load of rubbish. It is a load of rubbish.
I mean, how much interest do you get at, say, a careers fair? I mean, there is so much out there that young people just don't.
I'll give you an example. About. 2 years ago, I attended a local school, Rysdale, with just a tabletop display of some of the stuff we do, with like some graphics from Heathrow Airport. And from that, we've got groups of young people who the school has set them 3 questions to come and ask prospective employers or us to interrogate us. And they had to ask those questions and write the answers down. One of those lads who was involved with that was Ewan Beveridge. I then had an advert out in the National Apprenticeship, on the National Apprenticeship website for Highway Electrical Apprenticeship out of Richmond and out of Ware in Hertfordshire. And Ewan responded to that. Ewan was just turned 16, so he was a little bit young. But I got him in for an interview with his mum and dad. Invited his mum and dad in as well. Explained the situation that he'd be working away a lot. And part of it is not just going to college, but it's also going to School of Apprenticeship down in Derby with Eon, because we work in collaboration with them.
Yeah.
And he needed to understand that perhaps he wasn't quite old enough to start out into the workplace in full. So what we did as a company, because he kind of like, we were attracted to him, he was attracted to us, he was keen to join us. We then said, well, we'll set you up on a foundation course. So he's doing a City and Guilds electrical installation foundation course at Darlington College, and we're giving him a retainer of £50 a week, and we pay for his bus pass. Right?
Yeah.
Now, that sounds basic, but as an employer, we're showing interest with him. We're also now, because he's been with us now 6 months, he's now 17 years old. So we've paid for his theory test for his driving, because driving is an integral part of working with us.
Yeah.
And apprentices feel a little bit ashamed if they can't take part of the driving duties with the people that they're working with. So that's kind of important. And so we've paid for 10 practical driving lessons, right?
Oh, brilliant.
As a company,
yeah,
to give him some foundation to join us, and he's joining us in September.
I think what you said actually leads us perfectly into that last question. How does CU Phosco Lighting benefit from the work you do with young people? Like, why is it so important to hire apprentices regularly and get young people?
Well, I'll rewind to 3 or 4 years ago, because we have quarterly management meetings, and then we have in those management meetings we discuss strategy and we set KPIs. And in that meeting, Andy Kay, my operations manager, said to me, he says, do you realise what the average working age of our operatives out in the field is? And I said, well, I haven't really thought about it. He says, mid-40s. Because people who tend to join us, right, tend to stay with us.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I think we need to rectify that somehow. Because if we looked at the management team, we'd done that in Dino DeLuca, who'd been an apprentice with me 15 years ago now. So, you know, rewind 11 years. So we've been rewind 4 years. So he'd been with us 11 years. He's now a contracts manager. We've got Victoria, who came into the business 11 years ago from university. So 2 different routes. So that we had got a youth policy in the management team, but we haven't got one in the operations. And operations probably is where you need younger people.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was then elected as the apprentice kind of champion.
Recruiter, yeah.
And how was I going to do that? So that's how I ended up as the EA and visiting local schools with the support of Andy and Stu and Victoria and Dino. Making inroads into local schools, and then moving up to we've got Ewan at college, basically getting contact with Darlington College and working closely with them. We've had some dealings with Harlow, right? And that's where Ollie Langham, who's our apprentice in the south, came from.
Yep. And
so the benefits are, right, is that we're bringing younger people into the team. Those younger people, if they prove their worth, right, and you've got to understand the team as well, get a lot of pride in mentoring these individuals. And if they fit in, the pride and the mentoring and the knowledge transfer is paramount to our specialist requirements. Because, as I said to many people, in high mast lighting, you can't just pick somebody off the shelf to become a high mast lighting operative, right? And so the specialist skills that need to be transferred from the older, knowledgeable members of the team to these younger people, right? And that's what we're trying to endeavour to do.